Did he have a beer in his hand when he went down there?
No, I just saw him jump over the thing, and I was like, oh, this guy's trying to intimidate the Astros bullpen.
Was he trying to tackle somebody?
But it kind of worked because the Dodgers came back in the 10th. Coming to you pre-tape from the LA Mission College Studios in Los Angeles, California. This is the Best Coast Show. I'm your host, Albert Aguilera. That's my producer, Curtis Stage. Curtis, the Dodgers are finally in the World Series, and it's been a long time coming.
Yes. I mean, I was 18 years old the last time in the World Series. I actually remember the last World Series. You do not.
I do not. I think I was like 7 months old when the
Were
last
you?
World Series happened.
Now, okay, so Dodger fans, we have, of course, a World Series show, and we're going to be talking Dodgers. We are going to talk lineups, bullpen woes, 4 innings of bullpen woes. We're going to talk about DJ Severe at the stadium, and we're going to talk about Albert actually attending Game 1 of the World Series. So let's get started.
I did. Guys, thanks for tuning in again. Unfortunately, we lost last night, but we won Game 1 that I attended, so the Dodgers are undefeated in World Series games when I attend.
You think that has something to do
That
with it?
has everything to do with it.
Okay.
The Kings are undefeated this year in games that I attend.
Oh, that's
the
good.
Dodgers undefeated in playoff and World Series games that I attend.
You haven't been in any Laker games?
No.
Although they have one, they're 2-2 right now. So that's good.
So we beat the Wizards.
Yeah,
And the
that's
best part about that was that LeVar Ball was right. That Lonzo wasn't going to lose 2 games in the same week.
Awesome.
Best thing ever.
Yes.
So I was trying to figure out how the hell am I going to get World Series tickets
Yeah.
and not spend $2,500. So, right, I mean,
How the hell did you do that?
well, it just so happens that a friend of mine, you guys need friends like this. A friend of mine hits me up and says, hey, I've got 2 seats for the Dodger game, Game 1. Do you want them? I said, yes, absolutely.
Did you pause at all?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at
He
all.
didn't even tell you the price yet.
No.
He just said, do you want to go?
I said absolutely. So I'm like, okay, how are we going to do this? So it's a she. She hits me up. I'm like, absolutely, I'll take the tickets. And she says, under no circumstances can you resell these. And I was like, why the hell would I resell these? I go, you've known me my whole life.
Yeah.
Like, you
That's
have
weird.
any idea how much heartbreak I've gone through as a
Yes.
Dodger fan?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not like, oh, the Dodgers are a perennial loser that never makes the playoffs. No. We're a perennial contender that gets knocked out early for no reason. So I've seen other teams celebrate National League championships on our field.
Yes.
But I've never seen my own do it.
So
I was like, no, under no circumstances
will I sell these?
will I sell these. I don't care if the Pope is like, hey, I kind of need I need an extra ticket. And I'm
Yeah.
like, sorry, Pope, you're out.
Yeah.
You got nothing.
Not even to any Kings players.
Nope, sorry.
Okay.
No.
All right. So,
Whatever. Cat Bellinger can get any of the Kings in.
Sure. Here's the question I have for you. Why was she not going?
She was going. She had 2 additional seats.
Oh.
So
Okay.
she contacts me and says, you know what? And this is what she said, you're a really huge fan and you deserve to go. And I was like, what?
Okay, now she didn't contact me. She
No.
only contacted you.
Correct.
And you didn't invite me. You invited Alexis Laurel.
No, that's not how that
Wait,
went down.
how did it go down?
Okay,
'Cause I did not get an
number one, I've invited you to several games and you don't ever attend.
Shut up. We've been to games together before. Here's the deal. I get a text from Albert saying, I am going to the World Series, woohoo, and all that in a text. And I'm like, what the hell? How come I'm not going? I didn't even say that. I was just like,
well, you
awesome.
should have. You should have.
I didn't
Because
wanna.
here's what happened. So a couple of days before my friend gave me the seats,
Yeah.
Alexis hits me up and she goes, are you going to Game 1? And I was like, that's what I'm attempting to do at the moment, but I'm trying to avoid spending $2,500.
Yes.
And she's like, okay, if you get an additional seat, let me know. I'll buy it from you.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so that's one person. I'm trying to get 4 seats, right?
Yeah.
So ultimately, my friend gives me the tickets, and because she asked first, I was like, okay, hey, I have the additional seats.
Got it.
And that's how that went down.
Okay.
But if I had...
Did Alexis enjoy the game?
Yeah, I don't see why she wouldn't have. I mean, we were both pretty bummed out, and this is, Dodger fans, this is why we were both bummed out. So every time there's a new team in town, there's a special menu. Now, the playoffs have a special menu. The World Series has a special menu.
right.
And unfortunately, you can't eat this menu unless you're in certain levels, because not all the food is available in all levels.
Sure.
So it's like, this hot dog is only available here. That hot dog is only available there.
Yes.
This brisket thing is only here. And you're kind of like, okay, well, we sat in reserve. So it's like, we can't get the Moscow Mule special cups.
No.
We couldn't get any of the
What could
pasta
you
stuff.
get? What could you get?
Aside from the regular generic Dodger food,
Well, obviously.
all those like specialty loaded dogs from like Houston and stuff. And I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, but I don't want this.
yeah.
and they wouldn't let us move up or down levels to get food.
It's
and
a
I'm
World
like,
Series.
I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
And we also spent like collectively about 3 hours in line before the game and after the game attempting to purchase World Series stuff.
Gear.
Yes, I ended up getting some hats, which we're going to be giving away on the show, and you guys are probably in the raffle right now to be given the. Oh, and I got you one. I got you one.
You got me
jerk.
something.
So I didn't forget about you.
What the hell?
The World Series official baseballs. I got a handful of them. So one is yours.
Nice.
And one's going to be your guys's. So be on the lookout for that. But the game experience was fantastic.
It was.
Watching Kershaw go out there and beat Kershaw was fantastic.
Of course.
And I mean, just. It's completely different. Like the atmosphere is different. Playoff atmosphere is different. But
was that one of the greatest things ever in your life?
Oh, that's up there. That's
up
like top 2.
Okay.
I mean, assuming
Top
we
one.
Well,
You don't have a kid, so
I
so
don't
when you
have a kid. I'm not
kids,
married.
That's top 1. That's top 1 and 2.
Is that
for me.
is that the lie you tell
I
your
have to-
kids?
no,
but you
I-
have 2. So
I have 2 kids.
do you say, "Hey, oh my God, greatest moment ever," and then the second one was born, greatest moment ever?
Okay, so
you
that
can't have
is-
2 greatest moments
that
ever.
is a little
one has to be
troublesome.
better than the other.
The first one is really exciting, and you're nervous, and you're scared, and you're thinking, "How am I going to do this?" And I don't want to kill the kid, and like just getting him in the car seat.
Your daughter's the older one, right?
Older one,
Okay.
yeah. So my son, when he comes, we're like, this is easy. So I was still very excited for both. And then, so
But
for
you
me,
just love your daughter more than your son.
so for me, 1 and 2 there.
You guys
and then
notice how he's not answering that?
I love them both. 1 and 2 was my kids, and then marrying my wife, 3.
Okay.
And then I get to some sports things, 4, 5, 6, 7, including when I went to the '81 Dodgers World Series when Fernando pitched when I was 12 years old and sat in the top deck. Now, I did not spend $1,500 a ticket like many of you guys were doing to sit up, or $1,000 to sit up in the top deck. I think it was like $150. So back then, $150 was probably like $1,000, but
Back in '81.
yeah.
Now, a lot of fans and some of you guys that watch this program, I saw you guys on the Twitterverse complaining, "Oh, the Dodgers are alienating their fans. It's like we can't get in because we're not rich."
Okay, there's
no.
18 million people in Los Angeles.
Yeah, understand that the Los Angeles metropolitan area holds about 18 million people,
Yeah.
and this is the World Series, so celebrities and companies and all those people are buying, but the Dodgers don't sell the tickets. A lot of people don't understand that when it comes to the playoffs, the teams don't sell the tickets. The leagues do. So Major League Baseball set the prices for these tickets, which were still okay prices, right? Like top deck started at $215. The reserve were $255 to start.
Going to the Super Bowl.
Loge were, I think, $400 to start. The most expensive face value seat was $2,500 down in the field level.
It's insane.
But those ended up going. Did you see that guy? He spent $72,008 on 4 seats. So it's
let's
not
ask
that the
Dave.
Dodgers are the
Dave,
league.
Dave, would you spend? How much would you spend to go see Tom
Metallica.
Brady? No, Tom Brady. Well, okay, good.
Metallica.
The Patriots in the Super Bowl and Metallica at the halftime show. How much would you spend? We're asking Dave, of course.
And it's going to be in a Super Bowl location where it's not freezing cold, so you can actually not die.
be in like San Diego. So fans, you guys know that Dave, our
Social media coordinator?
Okay.
Social media coordinator.
Our studio director, Dave, is a Patriots fan for some god-awful reason. We have no idea why. How much would you spend? $1,000. $1,000 to see Metallica at halftime, and the Patriots in the Super Bowl. He'd spend it for one ticket.
Yes, since I don't know that many Patriots fans.
Well, obviously, or you'll take your
But
girlfriend.
I think it's a little bit different for the Super Bowl because there's only one game.
There's one game.
Yeah.
So you'd only spend $1,000, but people were spending how much?
The cheapest seat I found for game 1 was $1,085, not including fees.
And that's up
So
top.
after fees, it's like $1,200.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so fans, it's not that the Dodgers were doing this, but it was a lot of fans that when the NLDS started and the Dodgers advanced is when those World Series tickets went on sale. They bought them at face value, and then they turned them around and sold them at 10 times their cost. So it wasn't the Dodgers or Major League Baseball that are like, "Oh, we don't like people who can't afford seats." No, it was you fans and other scalpers that did this to fans.
Look, I'm not bummed.
I got lucky. I
got
mean,
lucky.
I got super lucky because if it came down to it, I would have been like, you know what?
Were you
$2,500?
Were you
Let's
wearing
do
your
it.
Chase Utley?
I was wearing my silver fox shirt
under the jersey
and my jersey.
Good.
And my Dodger hat.
Oh, obviously that. Okay, so let's. So that's amazing that you went, and I'm sure a lot of fans saw pictures from the game because you were posting on Twitter.
No, we couldn't because there's absolutely no reception up there.
Okay, you posted later though because I
Later,
saw
yeah,
some of the pictures. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. This is kind of funny. So ahead of game 1, batting practice, DJ Severe, who many of you know, we've got 2 musical things at Dodger Stadium. We have Dieter Rule, who's awesome.
The organist.
The organist who took over for Nancy B. We love Dieter Rule. And then we have DJ Severe before games, always doing music. And when the Dodgers went out for batting practice, he's playing like, the normal rap music, getting the guys pumped up, getting all the songs the players like. He's got a playlist of the players. And then, but when the Astros took BP, he's playing 80s yacht rock, soft rock, like Doobie Brothers, Chicago, Christopher Cross, like Sailing Takes Me Away.
I
to
have
where
a theory to that.
You do.
Now, if I'm a Dodger player, I approach my DJ, much like Cody Bellinger did, and I say, sir, this is my playlist. Please play this.
Yes.
He says, no problem. The visiting team being from Houston, they couldn't contact DJ Severe.
No.
So he was like, these guys are from Houston. One of our musical guests this week is actually going to be a country music star. So let me play stuff that I think they listen to in Houston. And that's why he went with those jams. That's
they
exactly
do not
why he
listen
did it.
to any of that
That's
in Houston.
exactly why they did
They
it.
don't listen to Christopher Cross from 1982
You don't
in
know
Houston.
that.
Okay. So what happened is it pissed the players off. So game one, I think obviously Kershaw was amazing. He had 11 strikeouts in 7 innings, which was a record for, right? I think he had that was the most strikeouts in 7 innings in a World Series game.
Yeah, and it was the second time that a pitcher, anybody in the World Series, had 11 strikeouts or more with
No
zero
walks. No walks.
since Don Newcomb did it in 64.
So Kershaw, obviously,
64.
we're always worried about the 7th inning. I think Kershaw, and we're...
Don't tell me you weren't shitting yourself.
I was a little bit.
When that ball went through Turner's glove.
Yes.
It was a hard hit ball. It wasn't an error.
Yeah, no.
I was okay because I was like, okay.
You were there.
Yeah, it was just a.
Were you guys like
hit.
all like?
No, but there were people around me going, "I didn't spend $1,000 for this. I did not spend $1,000 for this."
And we were up 3-1
yes.
at that point. Okay.
And I was totally okay with it because it was an actual base hit. It was not an error.
Yes.
Had an error or two started happening,
Then
I would have been like, oh God, here we go.
And then Baez starts warming up in the bullpen. Then we got problems.
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, Baez wasn't even on the roster. What's he doing
Why
over
is
there?
he out there? So Kershaw was Kershaw. Amazing. Game 1 was great. The atmosphere at Dodger Stadium, which you experienced, amazing. We get to game 2, and look, Verlander's on the mound. And I actually thought if the Houston's going to win any game this series, and they may win, look, Houston's not going to roll over. I know you thought the Dodgers were going to sweep.
I said the Dodgers were going to sweep the playoffs.
But
and
Houston won over 100 games.
I don't care. And I was perfectly fine with my prediction until Dave Roberts put out a garbage lineup. Now,
lefty-righty matchup.
Yeah, so he puts out a garbage lineup for Game 4 against the Cubs, and I was like, crap, we're going to lose this game. And we lost that game.
Yes.
Going into this one, I was like, all right, we got some momentum. We got Keuchel out. Verlander's going to get smoked. But then Dave Roberts comes out in the in the post-game for Game 1 and says, well, Justin's going tomorrow night, and I don't think we're going to be able to wait him out. And it's like they were aggressive against Keuchel. They're aggressive against Verlander, and that makes me think you're going to do one of your stupid matchup lineups.
Yeah.
And what does he do? He puts in a stupid matchup lineup, and we lose. And the Dodgers did score 6 runs. But when did they score those 6 runs? After he swapped out the shitty players based on matchups and then put in players that can hit.
But we did score 3 runs off Verlander. He had a no-hitter going into the 5th, and then, or into the 4th.
Right, and a lot of it, too, it was, okay, why are you guys swinging on the first pitch? You guys never do that.
They wanted to switch some things up a little bit.
Yeah, but it's like, this is a guy that can throw 120 pitches.
Yeah.
Why are you going to let him mow you down?
Now, listen, I know that you go back and forth on Dave Roberts.
I don't go back and forth with Dave Roberts.
You question
When the season started,
Yes.
I said, Dave, you're not Don Mattingly. Stop switching the lineup every night. We went 10-12. Then Cody Bellinger came up, solidified the lineup. We win 100 and whatever games, 104
games. No, we didn't
games.
solidify the lineup. We solidified the top 4
Okay,
in the
the
lineup.
top 4.
The rest of the people were like, let's find out who can hit.
Right, they were swapping him out, and then injuries happen or whatever. And it's kind of like, okay, September call-ups happen, Corey Seager gets hurt, and then Bellinger was coming off that ankle injury.
Yeah.
So then we lose 16-17, and it's why, again, we're switching out the lineup. Now, law of averages, over 162 games, I get it.
Yeah.
162 games, they're like, listen, Joe Schmo needs a day or 2 off. We've played 10 games in a row.
Yeah.
Or, hey, Chase is 0 for 20. Let's get him out of this slump.
Which I think he is right now.
He's like 0 for 26 right now. Let's get him out of this slump. We can do that over the course of 162 games. Absolutely, you can do that because it's April, May, June,
when it
July.
gets to the World Series,
but when it's best out of 7, I don't care about veteran presidents. I don't care about matchups. I don't care lefty versus righty.
Yeah.
I care about the fact that his matchups are now 5 for 48.
Okay.
5 for 4. That's a 104 batting average.
Yeah,
that is
that's bad.
garbage.
That's garbage.
That is garbage.
That is.
Meanwhile, you have
Kike Hernandez.
who's smoking the ball. You have Culberson who's smoking the ball, and then you have Forsythe who's hitting the ball.
He's hitting. No, he's been hitting.
And it's kind of like, okay, you play an actual lineup,
and Forsythe plays a little bit better defense than
right. So
Chase.
that I mean, again, this is Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah.
This is armchair GM.
We're all doing it.
You don't know what would have happened, but for a team that's all about statistics, statistically speaking, this group of people are hitting 104. This group are hitting 333.
Yes. True.
And
so let's go with those statistics.
Exactly. And
why aren't we going with those stats?
Because matchups. And then later in the game, what does he do? He's like, oh, okay, let me put Barnes at second. Bring in Grandal, who's 0 for 6 with 5 strikeouts. Put him to catcher. And then Bellinger, who might hit next inning, let's get him out of the game and put Forsythe at first.
That was a little troublesome.
What?
And he pulls Hill out in the 4th, which
with 60 pitches.
Could we give Hill another inning to give our bullpen a little bit more?
He had 60 pitches. If Hill was getting worked or he was laboring where he had 85 pitches, 80 pitches in the 4th, I would have been like, you know what? He's losing command. You know, that's a smart thing. And what had happened was, in the sense of the matchup for the pitching, he did the right thing, and Kenta Maeda came in.
And he's pitching great.
And he's pitching great. And then, you know, it's baseball, so things happen. So Kenta finally gave up a hit.
A hit.
Yeah, a hit. So
Maeda has been quietly an MVP
Absolutely.
player for this team for the postseason. He's
absolutely.
amazing.
Yeah. So he goes, does his job. So people are like, okay, David Roberts is still doing his thing, but it's kind of like, okay.
Why didn't Maeda stay in another inning? That was the other question.
Yeah,
It's like,
because he went 1 1/3, and then it's like, okay, Cingrani's going to be the man. And Cingrani was the man, but he only threw 1 pitch.
he got the double play.
He got the double play, and it's like, okay, cool.
Why didn't he come back in the next inning?
Why did you just burn him after 1 pitch?
And then Stripling walks a guy on
4 pitches.
and then we
so
burn
then you burn him.
So then that leads me to, we get to Brandon McCarthy. Now listen.
Who hasn't pitched since the middle of July?
Yeah. Now look, we both like McCarthy. I like him.
His Twitter's fantastic.
His Twitter's great. His wife's great. Everything's great. McCarthy's a great dude. But that dude has pitched 6 innings since July 28th. 6 innings. And he's on the World Series roster. I texted you last night. I'm like, I didn't even know he was on the World Series roster. I didn't look at it that close. I just figured he wasn't going to be on it. I haven't seen him pitch more than like 3 times in a month.
Yeah.
So we have a kid who's sitting up there who's 20-something years old, 21 years old, who throws 100 miles an hour, and he's sitting in the reserve section with his younger sister. Did you know that?
Yeah, I saw that.
So Walker Buehler, he's up in the reserve section. Why is that kid not on the?
Veteran presence.
Give me a break. We have enough veterans.
Yeah.
We have enough veterans. In fact, Adrian Gonzalez went to Italy and didn't join the team because he didn't want to rock the boat. And that's what he said.
He didn't want to rock the boat. So let's address this really quick before the fake news and the fake fans get a hold of this.
Well, I think they already did.
They did, but let's address this. So he goes to Italy. He's on vacation. He doesn't want to rock the boat. So Turner and Puig get on a phone, and they're like, hey, dude, we kind of want you here because, you know, you're part of the team, and you got that leadership, and you got insight.
And he came back.
And so Gonzo was like, guys, I don't know. And they're like, come on. He's like, I don't. And they're like, come on, peer pressure. So he came back, and then this story runs that he's going to be in Italy the whole time. Meanwhile, he's not. He's in the studio with Oral Hershiser, and he's doing analysis, and people are still talking shit. It's like, bro.
He's here.
He's here.
It's Aegon, you guys. Come on.
And
like, he's going to be like, I don't like my team
anymore. And
he's
traveling with the team to Houston, so he's going to be there, and he's another coach.
So we have another veteran presence. We do not. We have Utley, we got Aegon, we got Ethier. Do we really need McCarthy as another veteran presence? I was kind of pissed that he came in, but who else do we have?
Well,
we
and
didn't
that
have
was
anybody
the thing.
else.
You burned your entire. Okay.
Speaking of burning, Josh Fields is a field burning.
Okay, wrap your head around this one. The Dodgers were out of bullpen arms and out of position players in the 10th inning.
What happens if we go 18?
Yeah. When we had tied the game, I was like, okay, Alex Wood needs to come in. I'm sorry, Alex. You're the Game 4 starter. I'm sorry, but we need to win this game.
Yeah.
Because now we have to play 3 in Houston.
Now, do you think we needed to win Game 2? Did we
Absolutely.
need to win Game 2?
You need to protect home field. When the format is 2-3-2, 100% you need to protect home field.
Okay.
Because now we're going to go play 3 in a row in Houston. We can't lose 2 out of 3 in Houston.
Listen, Houston is one of the best teams in baseball. They're the best hitting team in baseball all year. I knew they weren't going to roll over and lose 4 straight. I thought maybe Verlander was going to win game 2, and we were going to go because I'm confident Yu Darvish is going to have a great game. So most of you fans, you'll be watching this on Friday's game 3. You'll be watching this today on Friday, game 3. And I'm confident Yu Darvish is going to go out there and do what he's been doing the last 8 games.
In Darvish to go out there. He has a good record, good ERA, and a good strikeout ratio.
He's good on the road.
Yeah, in Minute Maid.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with that.
Slider.
What I have a problem with is the fact that on Friday,
we could have been up 2.
Well, we could be up 2-0, but on Friday, aren't we going up against a right-handed pitcher?
Lance McCullers.
That means that we're going to have this stupid matchup lineup where we're probably going to have Grandal and Ethier and Jock and someone else in the lineup for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
Maybe. We'll see.
These guys are 5 for 48. 5 for 48.
Listen, Roberts has been doing it all year, so why are you surprised about it? He has been doing this all year.
Because when he's done it, again, law of averages over 162 games, not best 4 out of 7.
Okay.
And
so that's
every year in the playoffs, a team that goes really far or that wins has that one dude that was like, where the hell did he come from?
Yeah.
That's the hot hand. You play the hot hand. In our case, it's Kike. Why aren't you playing him? Oh, well, it's because it's a right-handed pitcher.
And what did he do last night? He got the base hit.
He got hit.
Driving the tying run against a right-hander.
And it's just like, Dave, what are you doing, bro? The 2 games where I looked at the lineup and go, crap, we're going to lose these games, is because of his matchup lineup. Play the hot hand.
What's your prediction?
Well,
now.
Jesus Christ.
Now, what's your prediction?
Now, assuming that Dave continues with his matchup garbage, I think we can win in 6, maybe 7. If he gets kicked in the nuts by someone, they tell him to stop playing guys that cannot hit, who like Chase. I love Chase, but Chase is now over 25. I think we can legitimately win this in 5 or 6.
We can.
Yeah.
Good. 5.
5.
You think 5?
5. No, I'm serious because what had happened, we shut them down, and it's the first time in the entire playoffs that there's a brain fart with the bullpen.
Yeah.
And why? Because you bring in Josh Fields, who gives up back-to-back home runs.
And that's not going to happen
who hasn't pitched since July.
Let's be clear. They're not the 4 runs they gave up in the last final 3 innings. They gave up 4 runs.
Historically speaking, I saw this by Ace of Spades, who's a really great Twitter follow.
Yeah.
Historically speaking, 30% of all postseason extra inning World Series home runs were hit in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's never going to happen again. We're not going to have another game like game 2 again with our bullpen melting down like that. We're not. Jansen's not going to blow 2 games in a week.
How pissed off do you think Rich Hill is? Because after he got pulled from the NLCS game for being perfectly fine, but matchups, he got freaking pissed and destroyed a Dixie cup.
He really couldn't have pitched any better.
Right, and then
last night.
he got pulled, and I was like, come on, Fox, cut to the
dugout cam.
And there he is slamming his glove down.
Did you see Verlander in the 10th come out of the dugout? He was like, he had no shirt on. He comes out and he's yelling at his players, get going here. Come on, you guys got to do this. That was awesome. I mean, I'll give it to Houston. They came up. They had to come up with the hits.
Yeah.
They still had to come up with the hits. They're a good team. I am going to say we're going to go 7, and we're going to win it in 7. And Kenley's going to be on the mound, and we're going to win this. So he's going to make up for it.
I don't need that kind of anxiety.
I'm going to die before the end of this series. I just know that right now. Fans, we may not have another show. But if I do die before there, just bury me in Dodger gear and give me that baseball from the World Series.
Are you getting cremated?
Yeah, but keep the baseball not cremated.
No, but if you
put that on the put that on the top.
If you're cremated, what I'll do is I'll rush the field or when they do like firework night the following season.
Yeah.
I'll walk around with an urn and just start sprinkling credits all
I've
over the place.
already asked my kids to do that when I die. Just secretly go there with a Ziploc bag and kind of go out on Father's Day because you can go out in the field on Father's Day. Just go out there with a Ziploc bag. I saw a dude doing that.
Really?
On Father's Day in the outfield dirt, he was kind of sprinkling. I'm
Ashes.
like, what is he doing? I'm like, he's got to be spreading his dad's ashes out there.
When I die, and I've already told my friends this, when I die, I need you to completely erase my search history, destroy all my hard drives.
Yes.
The show and all of its footage I have on a separate hard drive, but I need you to destroy everything and lower my casket to the theme song of Terminator 2.
Okay. That's awesome. Okay,
Wouldn't
I
that
like
be
that.
awesome?
I like that. I gotta get mine more. Okay, so fans, maybe come up with some better. These are great ideas. So please give us your ideas on Twitter of what you need to have happen
When you die?
When you die, and it may happen before Game 7 on next Wednesday night on Halloween.
Right. I mean, and look
We're
at
going Halloween,
No,
dude. No,
Game
isn't it?
7 is the day after Halloween.
It is?
November 1st.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, so Game 6 is Halloween.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it's
Are you sure?
Yes,
I think it's
the
Tuesday,
Game 7,
Wednesday.
Game 7 goes into November.
I think it's Tuesday, Wednesday of next
I would
week.
look it up, but my internet's not
Okay,
working.
whatever.
But I'm pretty sure November 1st is Game 7.
One way or another, we're playing a game on Halloween. That's a game we're winning.
All
We're
right.
winning that
So
game.
we're going to win in 6. So what you're telling me is that you think the Dodgers will lose another one.
Yes.
Damn.
They will. It's just going to happen, fans. I'm sorry. What's our gift for the day?
Guys, our gift of the day, this fan decided that he was going to try and help the Dodgers by intimidating the Houston Astros bullpen. So he jumps over the fence and then immediately gets stopped by the bullpen coach. But it worked because the Dodgers came back in the bottom of the 10th.
Yes.
So really, the loss is not on Dave Roberts. Now that I have clarity, the loss is on the other fans in that section who didn't come over the fence for
So
the
they
11th.
all should have poured
They
in.
all should have poured in after the
What do
11th.
they do when they get down there?
Intimidate them. How scared was Houston? They were like, oh man, Dodger fans, the stereotypes are true. We're going to get stabbed. I'm telling you, they were intimidated.
I'd be scared,
They were
actually.
intimidated.
I'd be scared.
And we scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 10th, but then the fans in that section, field level 46 or whatever that section is, failed us in the 11th
There's
for
going
not
to be
jumping in there.
extra presence in that section next game.
That's so terrible.
There'll be like 9 cops lining up against that wall right there.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Standing right next to you while you're drinking your beer. There'll be a cop right here. It's like,
I would be like, that's obstruction. I can't see anything. Get out of the way, sir. All right, guys, that's been our show. So don't forget to stalk us on Twitter at Best Coast Show. Don't forget to check out all the behind-the-scenes stuff on the Instagram, also at Best Coast Show. You can find us on the iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, really wherever podcasts are heard. But that's been our show, and you guys have a good night.